Hey everybody, this is Dr. Dane. Welcome to this installment of the Tour of Consciousness from lovely Langkawi, Malaysia. I'm in the middle of a forest, sorta. I'm getting harassed by a bug. And I wonder, like, you know how flies go, like certain ones, and I'm like, do you think they would get further faster if they flew in a straight line? I don't know. That's like an earth question for you. So here we are in this beautiful resort. We're doing an Access Consciousness 7-day event. It's actually called Wizards Arise. And oh my goodness, I'm facilitating this thing. It's been brilliant. The people here are arising. It's been so beautiful to see. And so this land around us it's so beautiful. I mean, if you take a picture anywhere, you can't take a bad picture. It's just so stunningly beautiful. And yet, if you go into the ocean, there's not a sense of vibrancy. There's not a sense of living. And so there's a sense of people looking at the beauty, but not acknowledging the being that is within it. And I've done this. If you've ever seen any of the Taste of Being classes that I do, where I work with the person on the table, there are times where I'll have somebody on the table that has been acknowledged their entire life for being beautiful, but nobody ever acknowledged their being. And there's this inherent lie that gets set up where it feels like their being is continuously invalidated. And when somebody goes, oh, you're so beautiful, they just want to scream, because what they really want to say is, thank you, and what about my being? What about my intelligence? What about my sense of humor? What about the different weird way I look at things? What about? And so it's kind of this thing that we do with the land too. We look at the beauty rather than acknowledging the energy that it has, the presence that it has, the very being that is within it. So my suggestion, my request of you is to acknowledge this goes on, and a lot of people do it, but next time you're seeing a beautiful beautiful sunset, beautiful landscape, beautiful mountains, anytime you're in the beauty of earth and nature, just acknowledge the earth and go, earth, thank you so much. Can you imagine what it's like to have a bunch of people go, wow, it's so pretty, you're so pretty, but not really tapping into and allowing themselves to receive the energy that is even more beautiful than the sight that they're seeing, because we're getting it on a surface level, but there's a much deeper level that's possible. That's the first thing I wanted to give you as a tool and an awareness. The second thing is this. I was having this conversation today with these amazing people that are here for this class. And I started talking to them about, because somebody asked a question in class. One of the things that I talked about on the Facebook Live is, if one of the targets of Access Consciousness is to truly create a sustainable living earth for the next 10,000 years. Now, when Gary, the founder of Access, started talking about this, I was like, I don't think I can perceive 10,000 years into the future. And then I was like, wait a minute, why not? He does. And he literally does. With the choices he makes, they're with the awareness of, if we're alive for 10,000 years, what would I like to create as that future? So my question to you is, if you were alive for 10,000 years, what would you like to create as that future? And, you can look at that in all kinds of ways. But asking that question starts to open up a different awareness, a different way of looking at things, a different way of perceiving things. It shifts your perspective. And what I'd like you to do, and one of the awarenesses that I had, a couple things. Sorry, my ADHD is going crazy right now. One of the things that science has said recently is scientists have come out and said we have about 12 years to reverse the ecological devastation on our planet. And if we don't do it within 12 years, our planet is not going to be able to sustain us and sustain life. Okay? That's one thing, but what I realize is most people have such a limited perspective of future. Do you hear the cicadas? My goodness. Okay, crazy. Most people have such a limited awareness of future. Most people, if they are aware of future at all, it's the next month, meaning the next receiving a check and bill pay cycle, because that's all they're looking at. Certain politicians, they have this sense of future, but it's only the election cycle. It's the only future they're willing to perceive to. Nothing else is even in their awareness. And what I realized today, if we would allow ourselves to have an awareness of 10,000 years in the future, we would allow ourselves to perceive that. Now, at first it can sound really weird. How do you do it? You just ask. You go, hey, I'd like to have this awareness of 10,000 years in the future that he's talking about. I have no idea how to do it. I have no idea what it'll be like, but I'm asking for it. That's how it works. And then you can pock and pod everything that doesn't allow it. But if we were just willing to have the perspective of 10,000 years, that alone would change the possibilities for the future of the planet, because those of us that are willing to have this perspective would increase what the future that we're aware of possible, aware of being possible, and aware of creating, and expand it dynamically. So, would you please ask for awareness 10,000 years into the future and ask what energy, space, and consciousness can we in our bodies be to create a sustainable living earth for the next 10,000 years with total ease. Everything that doesn't allow it, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. One more time. Ask for the awareness of 10,000 years and the possibility for creating a sustainable earth. And then what energy, space, and consciousness can we in our bodies be to create a sustainable living earth for the next 10,000 years with total ease. Everything that doesn't allow it, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Lastly, you want to POC and POD your judgments. Get rid of your judgments of what it's going to take to create that, because from the reality we're currently living, we don't know. But somewhere in our world, if we would expand our awareness, our sense of consciousness and possibilities, we would then allow ourselves to have the awareness of what it's going to take and how to create it. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening to the cicadas as they serenade us. What if you truly being you are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires? I so look forward to meeting you in person someday. Thank you for being on this planet right now, and what else is possible. See you soon. Bye.